Hail to thee, my kindred. I hope you're all having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and night, wherever and whenever you are. We are here back again, once again, with our Wonderland. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, and by a minute I mean roughly, what, a week or so? I believe around a week since we've... Oh, didn't mean to click there. Sorry about that. My mouse is was just kind of lying there. It was lying there, and then I kind of smacked it a little bit lightly, and shabam, that happened. What was I saying before I completely forgot? It's been a week or so since we've last played this game, and it's become, I think I'm gonna settle with this being like a once a week, twice a week kind of game. I know I was spamming our Wonderland for a good while. I don't think that was all that good. I should have probably spaced it out, considering it was a 20-something, or is a 20-some-odd hour story. That's why I initially sort of just went every other day in doing this game stream. But I think we're nearing the end, so we can chill out. We can do other things in the week other than play this. Not that there is any issue with playing this. I do like this game, or visual novel, whatever you wish to call it. But you gotta slow it down. You gotta slow it down a little bit, otherwise you get a little burnt out. Now, I'll be honest, I kind of forgot about what happened last time. Also, I'm eating some Maria cookies because I was feeling the grumblies a little earlier and did not wish to experience hunger just yet. All I remember about last time is that Gidget saved us from any potential wrongdoings that Orlam may have wanted to perform on us. Considering this situation, I think that was pretty good. Now, question is, will she help us get Genzo out of the little imprisonment area? And considering the fellow no longer has legs, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if we're gonna take him with us, because Genzo is a hefty lad. He is in fact a hefty lad, and a hefty lad, as you should know, kinda hard to carry. Now, there is less weight on him, true. He's missing parts of his leg, so there's less weight to worry about overall. But he's still a heavy guy. So, I'm unsure about whether we're gonna carry him around or not. There's also the question of Cecil. What the hell happened with him? I assume he's either still around and waiting for our gal, Gidget, outside, like the room, or he's potentially dead, because we know how tweaked out Gidget can get when it comes to our boy here. Whose name I've somehow forgotten. There's always gotta be at least one character whose name I forget. Most of the time it was Orlam. Now it's our main guy. Oh yeah, I also got married to Gidget, and we were in bed, about to shaboing. Obviously our boy, he tried to get through it, called it off in the last second. He tried to explain that he wasn't exactly into that sort of thing, and that conversation between him and Gidget did not go well. It did not go well. It actually went pretty sour. So we'll see how this little temporary relation goes on. And I say temporary because, the cycle must begin anew at some point. And for that to happen, they all have to die. Or at least our boy here has to die. And then the cycle restarts. And technically it should be, I believe, the final... the final... circle. Final circle? What am I talking about? Final, words. I'm just gonna start the game now before I continue embarrassing myself with all my lack of knowledge and lack of words specifically. So, as always, link in the description for any trigger warnings you may need if you need to see those. And, well, let's hope for the best. Then, crumples. Limp on top of me, almost like he's fallen asleep, curled atop my chest. Blood oozes across his back, staining his shirt and hair and seeping into the fabric of my clothes. I can only stare at him, pupils trembling. I blink again. My whole body feels eerily cold, and the world around me strangely unreal. And it remains that way even as Gidget tosses aside the scissors and holds out her hand, fingers red and shiny in front of my face. Come on. Carol looks like... You know what this reminds me of? This is gonna be so fucking silly. Let me see if I can actually find it, though. This'll make sense. This'll make sense once we get there. Once I show you. Because it is very reminiscent in a weird way to this thing I am remembering. So have y'all ever watched Gundam? Specifically Gundam Witch from Mercury. Now there is a specific scene about, I don't know, halfway maybe into the show, roughly. Let me see if I can find it. It has to be here. What's this girl's name? Oh no, it's gonna take me 5 minutes. Here it is. Found it. Oh no. It reminds me of, like... This is not the best picture. But, it's close enough. It's close enough. Let me save the image real quick. This reminds me of this right here. This freaking scene where you have this girl who's just annihilated a whole just person with her hand, or I guess her Gundam's hand, and then she like comes out of the Gundam, slips a little bit, gets her hand wet with blood, and it's like, come on, I saved you. And then you have the poor girl she saved, just like staring up at her like she's some psychopath. That's what this scene reminds me of a little bit. Just that. Sorry for the little sidetrack there. Come on. Only it's not a show of assistance. It's an order. So I take it. Our fingers slick as they intertwine, and let her pull me to my feet. Actually, I wanna... How do I... There we go. Take a picture of that. Orlam slides off in the process, going belly up in the straw. He looks so tiny now, like he could get lost in all those dried up stalks. While just a moment before, he seemed to tower over me like an insurmountable behemoth. I wipe my face, still shaky and dizzy. My clothes are a mess, a mixture of my and Orlam's blood, coloring it with thick, heavy splotches that glisten even in the dim light. We don't say anything, just breathing in the wade silence. Until the door opens with a slam that nearly sends me into shock. Cecil rushes in, his face tense. Well, there he is. He's also bloodied up. I assume he's, gone out of his way to deal with a rabbit or two, which would be surprising. The only ones who have not been able to canonically deal with the rabbits in any way, shape, or form is our fellow. We know Genzo can. And if Cecil can too, then damn. I guess Cecil is just built different. His normal pressed clothes are a twisted, crumpled mess, decorated with red splotches of their own, and I see what looks like a kitchen knife in his hand. He takes one look at Gidget, at me, then at Orlam on the ground. Come on, we need to get out of here. The whole castle is looking for us. Gidget nods, pushing back strands of hair that have gotten stuck in the blood on her neck. She starts toward him, and I follow. Then stop. Genzo. My heart clenches. Fuck. Fuck. Guys, wait. I somehow manage to form words. I'm not even sure how at this point. Sheer desperation, I suppose. And when the both of them turn to look at me, I stumble my way back to Genzo, still just sitting limp against the wall. Genzo? I start, my voice shaking as I drop to my knees next to him. He doesn't seem to hear me at first. Is he even awake? I give his shoulders a little shake, and this seems to have roused him. I see his nose twitch. Then he raises his head. Is the guy here with my burger menu ate yet? I swear this place has the worst service. Genzo! I shake him again, my voice cracking at the effort. Yes, Iggs, easy on the goods. I just had a major operation, you know. I blink back the tears flooding my eyes. Genzo, they're coming for us. We have to go. Gidget begins stomping towards us, one hand pointed at the door. We have to go now, Iggy. They'll be here any second. Just give me a minute, I bark back, harsher than I'd mean to, which is enough, apparently, to stop even Gidget. I turn back to Genzo. I'm sorry, I say softly. What are you sorry for? He sniffs. You didn't ruin anyone's life. I laugh, but me? It's like my shtick. I bring my hands to his cheeks. It's okay though. Every group's gotta have one bag egg. The asshole that always fucks everything up for everyone. Then slide them down toward his shoulders. I can't shut up. That's my problem. I try and I try and I try, and still this shit just comes running out of my mouth. Towards his throat, my thumbs brushing across his Adam's apple. Except when I actually wanted to. Then it gets stopped up like my mom on bean night. My fingers are trembling. Even now, that's with that staring down my throat like the world's biggest cock. I can't say it. I can't fucking say it, Iggs. It's okay. You don't have to. I know. Then I squeeze. Genzo spasms instantly. A choked, fleshy gasp bursts past his lips as he jerks against the restraints, and his body goes ramrod stiff, the stumps of his legs kicking out in futile panic. I squeeze and I squeeze, my hands shaking, thumbs pushing straight into his larynx, until I realize with dread that my lack of strength against the width of his neck is going to make this impossible. So, with a shudder hitch in my throat, I climb up onto his lap, above him, pushing down, using the weight of my shoulders to press and press. He's still gurgling and sputtering, still spasming beneath me, and it takes everything I have to keep my balance, keep myself steady, keep my weight trained on that single spot on his throat. Fuck. My chest hiccups. Fuck, not yet. But it's too late. My vision warbles as hot, stinging tears fill up my eyes, running like rivers down my cheeks. And before I even realize it, a throaty cry is buzzing on my lips. It grows louder and louder, an anguished wail of frustration as I throw every last ounce of strength I have into my hands, my fingers, my thumbs. Then the sputtering stops. The choking stops. I feel Genzo's body give one last shudder, one last kick, then go still beneath me, sinking into the straw. And I stay there a moment longer, blinking through the tears, blinking through the pain. Then sink, sink, sink. Sink 1,000 miles back to the floor, releasing my grip on his neck as my body crumples in on itself. My skin feels numb, my breath stilted, hands cramping, aching. I clasp them together, unable to stop them from shaking. Fingers still curled as they rattled against each other. We gotta go, bro. We gotta go. This is fucked, but we gotta honestly, dip. We are not in a position to be chill. I'm sorry, but, Gidget's kinda right. I'm sorry, Genzo. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm sorry for me. A touch on my shoulder jolts me out of my daze. And I look up, at first not even comprehending what I'm looking at. Then realize it's Gidget. Let me make sure I spelled Gidget's name right. I did. You never know with me, you never know. That's right. We need to get out of here. We're in danger. We need to leave. She holds her hand out, and I take it, stumbling over my feet, but moving. And out of the stall, back into the hallway, running, racing. Everything is passing by so quickly. Flashes of gold and red. I try to stay focused on Gidget's feet as I run, mimicking her hurried steps. The only thing I can latch onto to keep myself pressing forward as everything else bends and twists around me. A flurry of movement to the left. Guards. A whole battalion of them. Oh, it's that one that's tweaking. Cecil shouts something and leads us to the right, down another hallway, past window after window, in and out of the cascading sunlight. It's so loud now, a thunderous cacophony in my head, stampeding footsteps echoing off the walls. Just as we're rounding another corner, a door to our left flings wide open, and a guard comes charging at us. Nope. He grabs Gidget by the throat and slams her against the wall. I find myself rooted to the spot, frozen, unable to so much as scream. While across from me, Cecil already has his knife raised and is flying at the rabbit. Mistress! He leaps straight onto the rabbit's back, yanking back on its ears and stabbing the knife against it again and again into the exposed area of the rabbit's neck. The rabbit screeches and releases Gidget, who stumbles away with her hand on her throat. "Run, mistress!" Cecil shouts right before the rabbit grabs him by the hair and flings him to the floor with a horrific crack. Ooh, yikes. Okay, I forget how strong these rabbits, like, genuinely are. They are a terror. Cecil! Gidget shrieks, but somehow disperse me into action. And finally, I'm moving forward, grabbing her wrist, pulling her after me as I run. Pell-mell down the hallway, streaking across the carpet. There's a door. A door. Just up ahead. I throw a quick glance backward just in time to see the rabbit bring his giant iron boot down on Cecil's head. Jeez. Well, I thought this rabbit was getting stabbed in the neck, unless this is another rabbit that just ran up on our boy and just freaking, like, did him in. Gidget lets out a wail, and I wrench my head forward. Keep moving. Keep moving. You know, I'm wondering if we'll see Cecil again. It would be kind of funny if in the next cycle he was also there. He's not a real person though, so I guess it's, you know, a-okay. Doesn't mean there isn't emotional attachments to Cecil. I did not think Cecil was gonna go this way, but I suppose that is how he is out of the story now. I go flying into the door, shoving it open, lurching out, pulling Gidget, pulling my sluggish legs out into the open air of the castle gardens. We're out, but we can't stop there. I have to keep sprinting. Past the bushes and trees and fountains, past the towering castle walls, past the bridge and the moat and the path curling back towards the village. I shift left and start towards the distant trees, away from the castle, away from the civilization. All that civilization? Away from any chance of running into more guards. And I can hear Gidget's breath behind me, coming out in short ragged bursts as her feet pound against the ground. Once we're near the trees, and there's still no sign of any guards behind us, I begin to slow down. Slower, easing off into the trees, until we're walking, stumbling, tripping over rocks, branches, each other, as we clutch at the tree bark for balance. Finally, we stop completely, hands to our knees, coughing and wheezing and gasping. I can taste blood in the back of my throat, on my tongue, and my lungs. My lungs feel like they're on fire, like I'm breathing through a straw. I lean against an overhead branch, I apparently mix up words. I lean against an overhead branch, clenching my eyes shut as I focus simply on sucking oxygen up and into my lungs in great, greedy gobfuls. Once my body starts to calm down and my head no longer spinning, I throw a glance at Gidget. She's just standing there, her gaze pointed at the ground, one hand clenched to her chest, her face dark. But when she sees me looking at her, she smiles, a sad smile, but a smile nonetheless. We don't say anything, simply grabbing each other's hands and renewing our forward trek. Onward through the trees, past trunk after trunk, coiling brush, branches that cut and scratch at our cheeks and necks, on and on until we reach a clearing. A clearing with a cabin at its center. Sitting there, quiet and innocuous, we look at each other, then to the cabin. There is something about it that draws me in, like a string leading straight to the door. Gidget must feel it too, because without saying anything, we both start toward it, answering the tug, allowing it to guide us forward. I don't even bother knocking. Oh, great. That's not gonna piss off anybody in particular. I open the door, walk inside. It's warm and strangely comforting. There's even something cooking at the stovetop, filling the air with a delightful sweet scent. Isn't this lovely? Gidget finally says, breaking the silence. A little cabin out in the woods? She brings her hands to her cheeks, taking in the cozy ambience of the wooden interior. It is nice. I scratched at the back of my neck. Everything seems so familiar somehow. Yeah, Gidget's never been here. She's not ready for what's about to go down in like 3 seconds. I look around, my gaze jumping from the stove to the table to the bed. Something about the bed sends my insides into a twist, and I shake my head to clear my thoughts, jerking away. Okay, that one's a little confusing. Maybe it's because of the argument he and Gidget had, along with other memories of him and Gidget on a bed. Gidget turns her gaze back to me, and she seems to notice my current state for the first time. Oh, Iggy, her eyes cloud. Let me get you cleaned up, okay? She takes my hand softly, gently, leading me to one of the chairs at the table. Once she has me seated, she wanders over to the little kitchen area and fetches a bucket, already filled with water, and a rag from off the nearby rack. Then she slides into the seat across from me and dips the rag into the water. Here. She starts on my face, simply running the wet rag across my cheeks and chin, pressing it against my brow. It feels wonderfully cool, wonderfully calm, and I lean into her touch, needing it, craving it. She moves to my chest, lifting my shirt up to let the cooling fabric slide across the bloody slit, bisecting me up the middle. She's delightfully gentle in her ministrations, soft, tender pats that sting at first, then give way to the easing coolness. My poor little rabbit, her lips tremble as she observes the damage. What did he do to you? She's extra careful around my belly, where the blade had gone in deepest. And she wets the rag again and again, simply holding it against the wound rather than actively wiping, until the caked on blood finally starts to loosen and clot and blot away. Once finished, she fetches another rag and instructs me to hold it against my belly for a few minutes so it can start to clot. I'll make some tea for you while we wait. You'd like that, wouldn't you? A little tea to heal the spirit? She smiles and kisses the top of my head before wandering back over to the kitchen area, where she begins scrounging around the shelves. I watch her a moment, then let my gaze fall. I leaned forward on the table with my shin in my hand, just breathing, taking it all in. Let me move something around so that it's not in the way. Thank you. At this point, I'm still trying to keep my mind clear. Yes, I don't think about it yet. Don't let your mind wander to it yet. You need to keep it together. And you won't if you succumb to your thoughts. Succumb to the pain. I press my lips together. Let my eyes flutter closed. I must almost fall asleep because when Gidget places a small mug of tea down next to me, it jerks me backward with a start. She giggles softly. Here you are. Then sits back down across from me, another mug in her own hands. The tea smells amazing. Warmth, tendrils of sweetness curling up inside my nasal cavity as I breathe it in. Go back, go back. Welcome, you have arrived, Viewbot. I shall tell you of what went down. So last time, we were in that one stall, right? Where Gidget had just saved us from Orlam by stabbing him in the neck, and Iggy was there, and Genzo was up against the wall, no legs. And so we got saved. Cecil comes in. He's like, we gotta go. Then Iggy is like, wait. He goes over to Gunzo, shakes Gunzo awake a little bit, just to make sure he's alive. Gunzo starts talking his stuff. He's remorseful a little bit. He's saying how there's always gotta be one bad apple in the group. I'm thinking that he feels very bad about sort of fucking with people's lives a little bit. He feels like he's fucking with people's lives. And he also mentioned how even then he couldn't admit anything. And Iggy is just like, I know, okay? Like, don't worry, I know. Is that ketchup? It's blood. Actually. Iggy ends up choking Genzo because obviously we can't take him with us because, like, he's a hefty lad and we had to escape the castle. And it was very sad that Iggy had to choke him out, basically as a mercy kill. Then we leave the castle. As for leaving the castle, Gidget gets tackled by a guard. Cecil comes in, saves her, gets yeeted after telling her to run, and then he gets his head squished, so Cecil dies off after saving Gidget. And then we get out of the castle, and now we're here in the cabin that we know who this cabin belongs to. We, the audience, not the characters. And Iggy is just trying to not let the thoughts get to him at the moment. That's basically everything. Thanks for the recap. Next time, wait for me, though. Yes, I'll wait 40 minutes almost. Just for you. Sorry, I'm a bit hungry, so I'm eating some of my cookies over here. Alright. The tea smells amazing. Warm tendrils of sweetness curling up inside my nasal cavity as I breathe it in. And when I wrap my hands around the mug, I feel the heat travel up and across my arms, a comforting warmth. Thank you. I bring it to my lips. Take a sip. It tastes good, too. Gidget watches me, smiles. She tilts her head. This is nice, isn't it? Just the two of us, enjoying a little moment like this. I see a tiny touch of pink rise to her cheeks. It feels very domestic somehow. It does, doesn't it? I take another sip. I can feel the liquid filter down into my belly, warming me up from the inside. After everything that happened, I got a bit worried, but I think things will turn out just fine. She reaches her hand out across the table. So long as we're together. I lift my hand to join hers, the fingers wrapping around her palm, just relishing in the comfort of her skin. And then try to pull it back. I can't seem to move. I blink, furrow my brows, try again. But I can't seem to make my muscles work. In fact, my whole body seems to be slowing down, lethargic. And I don't even notice my other hand slipping down and out of my lap until the mug goes clattering to the floor. What's going on? We've fallen to the most classic blunder when it comes to obsessive women in visual novels. Gidget is still smiling at me. I see her stand up, place my hands gently back on my lap. Don't worry, Iggy. Everything's going to be fine. I open my mouth to respond, but can't seem to form any words. Instead, my jaw simply goes slack. I'm going to fix you. Wait, what? What's going on? Everything's happening too fast and my brain can't keep up. I let out a little moan as I tried to say something, my tongue like a limp worm in my mouth. It's the only way, Iggy! Her face goes suddenly stern, and she stomps her foot to the ground with such force that it makes the windows rattle. You see, I just couldn't figure it out. I thought and I thought, why would this place do that? Why would it give me everything I want, make it so perfect, but then stop short right at the end? It was making me crazy, Iggy. Why would it do that after everything I've done? You know, it's been so long that you forgot that you didn't like Norma, Iggy? You didn't like Norma, Iggy. Norma, Iggy? What do you mean by Norma, Iggy? Oh, normal Iggy? I still kind of don't know what that means. Well, why don't you like him? Iggy's just Iggy. Sure, he's a bit of an isolationist, but, you know. She goes quiet for a moment, eyes dark, before her mouth twitches. But then, I figured it out. A laugh. Her face looks different. Her eyes wide. Pupils shrunk, and she's giggling. Giggling. She brings her hands to her cheeks. It was a test! A challenge! This place is testing me. It just can't give me everything. I need to prove myself. Prove I'm worthy of the ultimate life. It would be too easy otherwise. Yeah, he seems nice, but his voice sounds a little too much like you and it confuses you. What do you mean his voice sounds like me? Like, we don't know what his voice sounds like. I think. I'm pretty sure. The only person I think whose voice we know about is, Orlam, and that's because during some cutscenes you hear some laughter of, like, Orlam's laughter, and that's about it. Gidget, I finally managed to eke out, though it sounds more half-grown than anything else. Wait, does that mean you don't like my voice? That's mean. Because there's no other way, Iggy. No other way it would work. Everything has to be perfect. You don't understand. I've given up too much. It can't be all for nothing. Now her fingers are digging into the skin of her cheeks. I need to be perfect. You need to be perfect. We need to be perfect. You need to make me perfect. Or else everything will fall apart. Her body curls inward. I can hear her breath ragged, see the tears glimmering in her eyes. She takes a moment, just staring at the ground. Staring through the ground. Then her arms fall to her sides. She smiles, walks towards me. I'll make this right. You're just broken, that's all, but I can fix you. I can fix us. Hooks her arms under my legs and around my back. Lifts me from the chair. My head falls back limply as my arms splay out to my sides, like a broken rag doll awaiting salvation. We're going to be so happy, Iggy. She places me down on the bed, just gazing down at me, her eyes quivering. Just you and me, our own family, our own perfect life. Then begins to undress. And I can only watch in horror as her dress flutters to the floor. Gidget, no. Gidget, please don't. Iggy. I try to shake my head, my lips sputtering uselessly. I'm doing this for us, Iggy. She climbs on top of the bed, on top of me. Gidget, you don't need to do this. You never needed to change. I was the one who was wrong. I wanted you to be yourself. Come back, Gidget. What do you want, Iggy? Her hands are on my shirt, lifting it up above my chest. You'll see, Iggy. You'll see how good it is. You'll see how perfect I am. Perfect for you. Your angel. I try to move my lips. They slip and slide against each other uselessly. But I keep trying. I need to. Make it stop. Make it this stop. Bring her back. Bring back the Gidget I know and I love. What do you wish for more than anything else in the whole world? She's moving lower, her fingers on my fly. Bro, this is just fuck beyond fucked. Insert stupid viewbot comment here, right? I'm surprised Girly Pop hasn't shown up yet, and by Girly Pop I mean, like, you know, Buxley with her 6-foot fucking rugby player looking ass body. like I'm surprised she's not back from whatever she's doing. She usually returns or is already here. Again and again I tried to form the words, but always the sound dies on my tongue, an unintelligible hum. What's that, Iggy? I see her tilt her head to the side, gazing down at me lovingly, adoringly. What has this place done to you? What have I done to you? I clench my eyes shut, focusing everything I can on pushing the words out of my throat, across my tongue, past my lips. Make it stop. At this, Gidget's brows arc, and her look changes to one of confusion. Stop? We can't stop, Iggy. This is the only way, don't you see? The only way you can be fixed. But the words are already out. The moment they hit the air, everything was sealed. And in the next moment, the door swings open with a slam. Gidget strolls around as Bucks walks in the door. And Bucks takes one look at the scene in front of her, her eyes dilating in surprise before stomping towards us. What the fuck are you doing? Bucks? I can explain, it's... Gidget scrambles off the bed, her arms raised in defense. But Bucks just grabs her around the neck and throws her against the far wall. There's a gut-wrenching snap as she collides with the wood before tumbling to the ground. Then she's shaking, groaning, trying to crawl away. Bucks, stop, please! I can see the tendril of blood works its way down her forehead, tracing the curve of her nose. This isn't what you think. We were just... Just what? Breaking into my house? Stealing my stuff? Buck stomps over, standing over her, just watching. Then picks Gidget back up as though she were nothing more than a twig, and flings her into the kitchen. Gidget goes flying into the shelves of the carack, dishes and pots and foodstuffs, falling in flurried series of clatters. She's wailing now, scream after scream, her shoulders heaving with every throat-wrenching cry. Shut up, shut up, shut up! Bucks brings her hands to the sides of her head, clutching at her hair. But Gidget doesn't stop. She only shrieks louder, and I see Buck's eyes go positively livid. You never shut up. You never shut up. You never shut up. Her head snaps to the side as she surveys the room. Then she walks over to the stove and snatches up the still hot kettle. I'll make you shut up. I watch her approach Gidget, raise the kettle over her head, then bring it down. There's a horrendous thud, dull and heavy. Gidget chokes, sputters, then again, one meaty thwack after the next, again and again, until all I can hear are fleshy smacks interspersed with Buck's ragged breathing. A puddle of deep red is forming across the floor, seeping out from the kitchen toward the table and bed. It feels like it goes on forever. Gidget's head and face are near unrecognizable. But still, Bucks keeps swinging and slamming the kettle. With a final squelch, the edge of the kettle snaps straight through her skull. I see Buck stop, just staring down at her, then slowly rise to her feet. She stands there. Her hands, her face, her neck, everything red. Her shoulders are still heaving with every breath and sending the blood on her hands back to the floor in scattered drops. The Buck's about to get a double kill? Hell, probably. It is strange, though. And nah, I was gonna say something dumb, but I don't think that actually would make any sense. They paint the wood in rhythmic staccato. Then she must realize something. She turns around, turns towards me, readjusts her grip on the kettle. I can only watch as she starts over. Watch as she peers down at me, head tilted in curious introspection. Watch as she raises the bedecked kettle back over her head. It's okay. I knew this was coming. I knew it was as soon as the words left my mouth. And I'm fine with it. I just want it to end. I wanted all this to end. Goodbye, Iggy, Buck says. Then brings the kettle down on my head. Huh. Interesting. Okay, I think I'm thinking about things again a little too much. Why'd she say goodbye? Maybe it's because we were quiet. I don't know. Buxley, in my opinion, is the weirdest piece of the puzzle to this whole thing. Because she just... We know so little about her right now in this place specifically. We just know that whenever we show up, she insists on killing us. And that's it. So it's kind of like... I don't know. She's just kind of like the wild card. I mean, not in the sense that she does different things, but in the sense that she does the exact same thing. This time, the only difference was that she was chill about it. When it came to Iggy, at least. Even giving us a little goodbye. Like, what the hell was that about, you know? I wonder if she's also... You know how every character, to some extent, seems to have some amount of, like, memory about what's happening, but it's, like, very limited? Since for Buxley, the only time she interacts with the rest of us is when she's killing us. I feel like, in theory, she would know that this has happened multiple times, like, pretty damn well, considering that it's the same thing being repeated over and over and over again, at least from her perspective. Or at least that's what I would think, that she would have to know that this has been going on and on again and again. Because, like, the only thing she's ever been doing is killing us and chilling out here. Buxley, when she sees someone walking by, she's about to up her KD. Literally. I don't know what to think about her. And now we're heading into the final arc, which is the 5th one. I mean, I think there's an epilogue after the final arc, I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. Our Wonderland. Let's see. I'm pretty sure there is. Hold on. Okay. There's the arc 5 and then the finale. So yeah. I'm sorry, Gidget. I couldn't make you happy. I'm a bit curious about whether we should head straight into arc 5, because I'm pretty sure that if I go to Carrot's itch.io page and I look at things, not sure where to start my games. I generally recommend this order: Wonderland Arcs 1 through 5, and then you stop, play Our Fantastic Wonderland, T2A2G, Save the Last Dance, then Our Wonderland Arc 5. So I don't know whether we should just go straight into Arc 5 or I don't know. You think she would be more interesting if she didn't just murk everyone she interacts with in Wonderland? True. There is that, I guess. In the like I kind of agree. I get what you're saying. But at the same time, I don't know. There has to be a purpose to this. Has to be. Or at least an explanation as to why she's always tweaking off rip. I think we'll just keep going with Arc 5. Pre-sad story, Bucks was just feeling a little sad. Bucks is feeling something. Happy? Happy. Yes, I need to make her happy. I need to make all of them happy. I need to... For a single moment, I remain peaceful, blissfully calm within the darkness of my eyelids. Then, with a jerk that nearly bends my spine in half, I sit up. Straight up. Every joint, every muscle, every fiber of my body is ramrod straight. And my heart. My fucking heart. And I can feel it in my fingers, my ears, my head, my eyes. Then comes the nausea. Bubbling, frothing, rising up. Erupting. So fast I almost don't catch it. I slap a hand to my mouth, trying desperately to hold it in as I stumble from the bed and race towards the bathroom. I barely make it, half slipping on the tile as I wrench open the toilet seat and plunge my head inside. Then it's spilling out. In heaps, in heaving gasps that make my head thrum. So much it's like I'm ejecting everything inside me. My fingers shake around the porcelain, holding it so tightly the muscles bulge. And tears and snot dribble down my shin to join the goopy saliva-ridden muck. Once the convulsions finally die down, I let myself fall back. My tailbone collides angrily with the grout. I'm shivering now, and I can feel things. My arm is gone. My leg, numbing shocks all over my body, red filling up my eyes. The sensation comes all at once and all over, to the point that I have to curl in on myself, face buried in my eyes, not my eyes, face buried in my knees to keep from screaming. But the noise still does escape, like a throaty, desperate hum on my lips. My heart feels like it's being ripped in two again and again and again. A deep guttural sense of hopelessness. I see them. I see all of them. Every horrific detail. In pain, agony, dying again and again and again. I bring my hands to my face, to my eyes, trying to block out the images. But nothing stops them. Nothing stops the visceral sensation of despair digging into my skin like scalpels threatening to rip me open. I remember. I remember. Fuck, I remember everything. We remember! Yippee! I love remembering. Arc 5. We all talk like this in the bathroom. Oh, cutscene? Once upon a time, there was a tree. A tree that could grant wishes. People would come to the tree and ask for their heart's desire. And the wishes nourished the tree. The tree would grant them. And for the tree, the tree loved them. The tree loved everyone. And they shaped the tree's world. But people began to take the wishes for granted. They grew jealous and bitter, and began asking for more and more things, for horrible things. No longer did their wishes nourish the tree. They hurt and twisted the tree, distorting the world it had created. Heartbroken, the tree cast everyone away, vowing that it would never trust anyone again. However, the tree grew lonely. It missed caring for people. It missed the joy and laughter. It missed the taste of their wishes. I will only allow those with pure and innocent hearts to enter my world, the tree thought to itself. And so it waited, and waited, and waited, until one day, it found them. And that's the little blood on the leaf. When the kids, all made their ritualistic sacrifice, thinking they were going to Wonderland. Well, technically, they did. The tree was happy again. So happy. Its new children fed it the most delicious wishes. Innocent and pure. They reshaped the tree's world, helped it grow strong again, turned it back into a land of joy and hope. And the tree cared for them, watched them grow, tried to make them happy, trusted them. But children grow up. And one by one, they lost their innocence. The tree fell into despair, casting them out before they could corrupt its world once more. It felt betrayed. Betrayed by its children. Betrayed by everyone. It sealed itself away. Bitter. Desolate. Hungry. For hundreds and hundreds of years, its appetite grew. One wish. That was all it needed. It was all it craved. One single wish. To make it whole again. The purest, most innocent wish of all. Well, I don't know how that would work, because the bebe cannot talk. I recommend that you play the side game or Fantastic Wonderland before playing the final arc, though not recommended, not required. Some references, in particular a certain character's role, could be confusing otherwise. The link above will take you directly to the... Okay. Now... We just got put on a side quest, basically. Unironically, got put on a side quest. Go play this other game real quick. Let me take a look at it. I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. It's worth it, I think. I already opened up the page and everything on Itch.io. Let me take a look at it. Which one did it say? Our Fantastic Wonderland? Yes, Our Fantastic Wonderland. Let me take a look at that. Let's see if it has like a runtime anywhere. It is sort of, from what I can see, kind of a spin-off, but it might add context to the story, which I think would be necessary. It's 45 minutes to an hour, so it's not long. 3 different endings, lots of ridiculous animations. You know what? It might be worth it. I think it'll be quite worth it. You go play real quick, Gelato. Don't worry. I'll wait here until you're done. Let me see if it's on Twitch's thing. Our Fantastic. Okay, it is on Twitch's thing, so I'll play it. Do I have the 64-bit window or 32-bit? I forget every time. Okay, 64. We are going on a side quest. Side quest time. Yippee! "32-bit window would make you cry." What's even the difference between the bits? I don't know. Backlog. Let's see. Extract all. Let me just save, you know. Let me save the thing. I guess we'll quit for now. Just get sent on a goddamn side quest. Look at this shit. Pew. Let me set the settings so that okay, there we go. That should be it. Okay, for more details, blah 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 blah. It's a little loud. It's a little loud. It's a little loud. It's a little loud. There we go. Not as loud. Still kind of loud. Let me turn this shit down. Are we gonna see what the fuck happened in Wonderland when they were kids? No, I don't think so. Like I said, this one seems to be kind of a spin-off, but it'll give context, I guess. Where's my mouse? I, for some reason, cannot see my mouse when I'm, like, in the game. Oh, that's why. I have to use the thing. Too late, Yaladdle, your ears are gone. Okay, let's start. So we gotta do this specifically because it'll give us context to whatever character maybe needed. Who needs context? Buxley, basically, right? It froze. You're lying. You lied to me? That deserves punishment. You are punished for your lies. A young man in robes of white traversed the darkness of the woods. His snow-stained hair stands prominent against the black backdrop, like a star twinkling softly against the expanse of the night sky. And around him the shadows threatened like inky chasms. All manner of creature could be out there, just watching, waiting. Hey, that's me! Very good, Eggs. I'm glad you could recognize yourself in a mirror. You know, it doesn't help the vibe when you interrupt the narration. Hanar! We got Hanar involved, yippee! Don't worry, babe. Just narrate these clowns straight into a big old torture hole. See if they can keep up the smart-ass commentary with 7-foot spikes shoved up their asses. If I knew this was gonna be an NC-17 affair, I'd have come more prepared. That is sick and disgusting, and why the hell did you all put me next to this fucker? Wait, Hanar can just kill us like that? I'm not killing anyone! Hanar. Poor Hanar. He just has to deal with our shenanigans. For now. Can we please focus here? I'm trying to keep this thing under 10k. Now then. The cool chill of the wooden shades sends shiver up the man's spine. He knows not where he is, nor how he arrived here. I have no idea where I am, or how I got here. Damn, Iggs, you should drop the computer hack and stuff and take up acting instead, Mr. Charlton Heston over here. I'm still not sure why he's playing the lead. The last thing this world needs is another spineless vanilla protagonist. I could have provided some life to this production. Yeah, cause you'd have stolen it from everyone watching. The young cleric, Ignatius, carries on through the trees before arriving at a clearing. At the center of the clearing, a halfling knight lies prostrate on the ground, unmoving. He appears to be gravely injured, his breath ragged on his lips. Is Iggy gonna be a healer here, or are we just gonna leave him? That's the real question. I suppose do the most obvious thing. Before we do that, though, let us save and then return. Like the little thing next to it's a little head. let's let's heal him, sure, why not? Ignatius kneels down next to the knight, using his curative magic to heal the knight's wounds. The knight stirs, groans, then pushes himself off the ground. What the flying fuck was I doing lying on the ground? Jen, that's not how knights talk. Oh, sorry, guess I missed out on round table lexicon class. Throw me a fucking bone here. Goodness gracious. I return. But damn, it's like a furnace in here. I had to go turn on the AC real quick as well. And I got myself some more water so that I don't just die and dry up like some kind of, I don't know, a plant. 'Cause that's what I'm feeling like right now. Where were we? Right here. The group suddenly runs into a new obstacle. It's a giant eye, sitting right in the middle of the bridge they need to cross. No one knows how I got there. It's just there. If I dry up, can you take over stream? I don't know how, but if you can manage it, I suppose. It'll take charge after my death. The four of them stare up at the eye in wonderment. Oh, what are we looking at, folks? I can practically hear the collective dick shriveling taking place in your pants right now. It's, a giant eyeball. Concerning? Can we avoid it? Considering its girth is currently occupying the full width of the bridge, I would say no. Yeah, figured as much, but thought I'd ask. The prince puffs his chest and takes an only slightly hesitant step forward. You there, eye creature. I know not your motive for blocking the path right now, but I must ask that you relocate yourself at once. We must cross this bridge on important business for the king. There's no response from the eye. The prince turns around in search of answers from his companions, but receives nothing but a series of shrugs. He takes another step forward, only for a sudden rumble to overtake the bridge, sending its precarious planks into a flurry of undulating tremors. Ignatius's stomach flops in a rapidly building nausea, and his feet. He can't keep his feet centered in the middle of the bridge. Already he can feel his balance starting to give, and he's tilting towards the edge. Let me read that again. Okay, so we're falling. Okay, well, Genzo's probably got the most strength to hold us there, so jump towards Genzo. Go! Willing with what little remaining strength he can put into his wobbling legs, he aims himself at Genzo without thinking and jumps. Holy fucking hell! Genzo takes a startled step backwards and brings his arms around him all the same. Ignatius lashes himself onto the halfling's stocky frame like a terrified snake, burying his face into the side of Genzo's neck. He doesn't open his eyes until the quakes finally begin to subside, and the surface of the bridge stills beneath his feet. Genzo is silent, still, and beads of sweat dribble down across his temple. Finally he coughs, gives Ignatius an encouraging squeeze. You okay there, Iggs? Ignatius takes a moment to recover, opening first one eye, then the next. Then, realizing with the start where he is, he leaps back. Sorry, I lost my balance. It's fine. That was quite the rumble. Orlam slinks over at this, curling an arm around Genzo's shoulder with a playful tug. Quite the rumble down below as well, I might imagine. Get off me! He jerks away with a huff, though Ignatius doesn't miss the twinge of pink on his cheeks, which sends an uncomfortable flush through his own. He's not, however, given time to dwell on it. If you gentlemen are done messing around, we've got ourselves a new problem over here. All eyes turn back to the front, to where the giant pupil of the eye has rolled over to face them, and is now staring at them curiously. Ignatius feels a shiver run up his spine. Fortunately, the prince once again takes the lead. He steps forward, clears his throat. If you are indeed sentient, then I ask that you heed our request and allow us passage. We have urgent business to complete on the other side of this bridge. The eye looks from the prince to Ignatius to Genzo, then Orlam in turn. It turns its massive watery pupil back to the prince. Answer me these questions 3, then safe passage, I shall decree. What the? It's a bridge troll? Is this what we're going with? Okay. It talks? Impressive, given its lack of an oral cavity. You can't just say mouth like a normal person. The prince shushes them with a wave of his hand. Very well then, ask us your questions. The pupil of the eye shudders, dilates, then in a booming voice that sends the planks beneath their feet trembling. In the function random number something base, what the hell? If you were to call the variable base number outside of the function, what would be the output to the console? What the fuck kind of question is that, Hanar? Isn't it usually some kind of riddle or something? All I have is this JavaScript for Dummies book, so sue me. I think it's a swell tactic. Riddles are so last decade. I know you got this code a lot. I know you code a lot, Gelato. I know you got this. I don't code at all. I have 0 coding experience. I'm with Orlam. We're gonna die. The prince pauses for a moment in confusion, then straightens, smiles. Heh, child's play. The answer is undefined. Yet, how did you... correct? The prince glares at Ignatius, who for once is looking quite proud of himself. You think you're pretty smart then, do you? I may know a thing or two from time to time. Next question. When using array.length on var list of pets equals something dog, cat, bird, sparrow, what would be the output of list of pets.length? 4. Correct! Now it's Ignatius' turn to glare. The prince just smiles. Not so fast on the uptake, are you, cleric? I was distracted for a moment. A typical excuse. Do you have any idea what the hell is going on? Not a clue. Good, glad it's not just me. Next question. Ignatius and the prince both brace themselves. Which HTTP verb would a developer use to request an update to a product's details from a server? Put! Correct. The two of them grin at each other, eyes aflame with passion. Congratulations, I don't have any more questions. With another shudder, the eye rolls off to the side of the bridge. It disappears into the water far, far, far below without as much as a splash. That was, quite possibly, the weirdest fucking thing I've ever experienced. The prince turns to Ignatius, lips still curled into a smile. I suppose you're not as incompetent as I originally made you for, cleric. My opinion of you has risen. You're not half bad yourself. Ignatius is having a hard time containing his own grin. You're not half bad yourself. Maybe between the two of us we'll be able to finish this thing. The prince laughs. Indeed, I do believe our chances might just increase. The two clasp hands in a moment of triumph and camaraderie. That was weird. Alright, imbecile. Why are you calling him an imbecile for? He's done nothing wrong. It was weird. Wouldn't you feel like a little bit out of the loop if all of a sudden you're like playing D&D and the questions asked for a riddle are things you have no clue about? That could even write. Okay, what the hell is this dialogue? The two clasped hands in a moment of triumph and camaraderie that could rival even the most famous of shonen anime. What are we then? The peanut gallery? We may have just been relegated to the role of comedic relief. Isn't that the truth? We love comedic relief characters. And so the four companions continue their journey. You always feel out of the loop? Well, I kind of feel bad at that. That makes me sad for you. And so the four companions continue their journey. Through rain and shine, through water and muck, and on the horizon the spires of sacred altar grow even nearer. I wonder how much further we got till we reached this holy Alta Vista or whatever it's called. 1.5 miles. Damn, what the fuck? You got a built-in GPS or something? There's a sign. Don't I feel incredibly sheepish? Haha, sheep. We're almost there then. Finally, we'll be able to complete our quest. Or will you? With a collective gasp, the group turns at this new voice. Only to find themselves surrounded on all sides by towering, 7-foot-tall rabbit soldiers. They draw their weapons. Now this is a surprise. Looks like Easter's come early this year. You will allow us to pass if you know what's good for you, rabbits. The king has been watching you very closely in this so-called quest of yours. My father? Pfft, your father? The king? Don't make me laugh. I mean the real king. What are you even talking about? What does it matter? You'll be dead soon anyway. Nab him, boys. The rabbits charge. And they're quick as lightning. Giant furred masses that move with accelerating speed. And Ignatius can only watch as his companions begin to fight. Bro, start casting spells. That's like your thing, you're a cleric. Buff your teammates right now. Spam the buff. He scoots back in his attempt to get out of the way. But they're everywhere. More and more of them joining the fray. To his left, Genzo is deflecting incoming spear attacks with well-placed arcs of his sword. To his front, Orlam is leaping in and out of the incoming onslaught, landing jabs of his dagger on their necks and arms. And to his right, Gunt is parrying two sets of spears while peppering their owners with jousts of his saber. Clanks, clashes, and fleshy thwacks surround him on all sides, and he has to sidestep again and again whenever the flurry of weaponry grows too near. He can't even keep up with it. It's all too much, and it's happening too fast. Swirling chaos around him, with nothing he can do to help. A grunt to his left, Genzo gets hit first. He can see the flash of red across his arm from a spear he hadn't managed to evade, then a heavy thud. One of the rabbit had caught onto Orlam's coat and thrown him to the ground hard. Orlam leaps back to his feet, but it's clear he's hurting. A yell of pain to his right. Now Gent too has taken a hit. 3 fresh claw marks have been gouged into the flesh of his cheek. He needs to do something. He needs to help them. But who? It's all happening so fast. Whom shall we assist in this perilous situation? There is Gunzo, who seems to be our typical fighter. Gun's also kind of a fighter, but maybe not as well as Gunzo. Orlam is dodging and weaving. Decisions. If only I had a three-sided coin. A little pyramid coin. That would be quite cool. Or a dice. I did used to have a dice somewhere around here, but I do not remember where it's gone. Help Gent out? Maybe. My brain is like dying right now. Give me a second. Imagine not having mass heal. Holy shit, Iggy. True. We could just like heal. But I guess we gotta choose who is the problem. Our heal is like single. We're not leveled up enough, bro. We're not leveled up enough for this. What if we went with I don't know. I'll go with Gunzo, I guess, or Orlam, or Gent. Orlam and Gent, one of those two. I'll flip a coin between Gent and Orlam. Heads for Orlam, tails for Gent. It appears we'll be assisting Gent. He moves on instinct, darting towards his left before his mind can talk himself out of it. Gent! Cleric, what are you doing? Helping you. I don't need your help. You're bleeding. Just a flesh wound. Shut up and let me heal you. Go heal someone who needs it. The sheer fervor of his altercation is enough to confuse the surrounding rabbits, who spend a good 30 seconds just watching the back and forth. Ripostes. I don't know how to say that word. At some point, however, they realize they're missing an opening, because they raise their spears and come lunging en masse. Iggy, watch out! Ignatius is so thrown off by the use of his name, he barely has a chance to turn around before Gent is shoving him out of the way. He's flying before hitting the dirt hard, the impact taking his breath away and sending stars across his eyes. Once he's recovered his wits, he attempts to return to his feet. Gent, stay down. Do you want to lose your head? The prince shoots him a glare between rapid-fire parries of his saber. And let you get all the glory? You stubborn! But something in this must throw the prince's rhythm off guard, because in his flurry of parries, he misses an incoming spear on the right. The side of it slams into his shoulder, sending the saber from his hand and his body spinning backwards and onto the ground. Gent! Ignatius rushes to the prince's side, kneeling down next to him, but it's already too late. 2, 3, 4 spears are already pointed to the heads. Why don't we all just hold our fucking horses here, eh? The sudden voice booming across the entire clearing stops all of them in their tracks. A shadow from above. It leaps to the ground, causing the earth itself to quake upon impact. Then the 6'2" woman raises to her full height. giant axe perched on her shoulder. Someone call for a Buxley sandwich? Ha! The cavalry finally arrives! Time to turn the turntables. Turn the... Oh, whatever. It's skull cracking time. What? Nothing. I just never imagined you so homicidal. You sure you can handle all of these rabbits, though? You wound me, friend. I'm not some floozy who ain't got the shops. Now let's get this party started. The rabbits gaze in surprise at the newcomer monopolizing the center of the clearing. One finally works up the courage to charge at her. Bucks takes his head clean off his head with one mighty swing of her axe. Oh damn. Everyone watches it bounce to the ground with a fleshy thump. 1 second, 2. The rabbits quickly go into panic mode, running this way and that, trying to scatter away, but Bucks isn't finished with them. With a giant guffaw that rattles their very bones, she rushes forward with all the heaving sinews and untapped fervor of a stampeding ox. She swings left. She's right. Uppercuts one right up the crotch, okay? Then spins, severing spear tips and dick tips and limbs alike, in the variable squall of swirling, whirling, iron-plated entropy. Bunny skins try, but they ain't got the spry. She turns towards another cluster, currently cowering with their spears plastered to the tops of their heads. More of them, eh? Good, I'm still hungry. Then she's rushing forward again. Acts like a mighty cleaver bringing down hell's judgment on the unfortunate lapines. After about 10 of the rabbits are in various states of dismemberment in the dirt, she finally slows, watching lackadaisically as the remaining few scuttle off into the distance. Chicken-livered, a lot of them. No one else wants a taste of old Buxley, I see. Just thumbs up. She just commits a massacre, gives a thumbs up. Dripping blood and guts and furry clumps onto the ground, she wanders over to the group. You okay, folks? Looks like you've seen the ghost. The ghost of Christmas past comes to make me repent for my sins, maybe. You are incredibly capable, ma'am. Ha! That was just a warm-up. Gotta keep these guns in shape, you know? I shudder to think what you'd consider a true workout. Feeling all of a sudden somewhat courageous, and perhaps a bit terrified at the prospect of what could have happened, Ignatius steps forward, hand outstretched in supplication. We're on a quest to return the jewel of happiness to the sacred altar and restore its light. Your strength would prove invaluable in helping us reach our destination. Will you lend us your aid? Bucks looks at Ignatius, looks at the rest of the group, who all merely return the look in furtively hopeful silence, then smiles, laughs. The force of it sends spatters of gory goo to the ground below with every heave. Sure, seems fun enough. You can count on old Buxy here to keep you folks in one piece. I'll have your back like a butt crack. What? Wonderful. I will make sure my father rewards you handsomely. Wait a minute. Reward? Nobody said anything about a reward to me. Next to them, Orlam can only one-eye Buxley's gore-bedecked biceps and growing appetites. Yippee! We've been saved again. And now we have, I guess, our resident berserker. Man, what is this place? And finally, complete quintet. What? Oh, hold on. Let me reread this sentence because I just got confused at that word. The finally complete quintet continues the remainder of their journey without issue. Their path takes them up the winding cliffside to where a giant castle overlooks the plains. It's positively enormous and boasting towering walls, soaring spires, and thick-set bulwarks strong enough to fend off even the most heinous of onslaughts. This is the sacred altar? Indeed. What else were you expecting? I don't know. Something not quite so imposing, I guess. Suddenly, I'm not sure if I'm here to return the Jewel of Happiness or rescue a princess from her tower. Why not both? I've always been a big fan of multitasking. I just have to ask, what's your opinion on strap-ons? Strap-ons? Strap-on what? And where? Don't worry, I could teach you. Oh boy. The group approaches the giant front door of the massive Ziggurat. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, okay? I'm not gonna think about that. Freakazoid. Exactly. He's just being a freaky again. He's being freaky again. A strange apparatus is embedded in the wooden frame below. A good 10 or so rotating mechanisms make up its body, and an assortment of unintelligible symbols decorate its front. It seems to be some kind of archaic lock, a puzzle of sorts. I barely even understand what I'm looking at, let alone how to open it. There must be a way. What happened to all that high-flaunting nerd spout and bro-ha-ha back on that bridge, huh? That's different. This looks literally impossible. Let me take a look. Bugs comes stomping to the front door. She takes one look at the lock, one look at the door, before promptly raising her axe and chopping the entire thing in half. Wow, that sound effect was a little loud on my ears. The door shudders for a moment before collapsing on itself in woody cacophony. What? Wait a minute, you can't do that. Why not? Seems like the simplest way to me. You were supposed to come up with a carefully crafted solution that combined all 5 of your strengths. In a brilliant feat of teamwork. Hanar, this is us we're talking about. Work together? Are you mad? That would force Genzo to not be an asshole, which I can't see happening anytime soon. Oh yeah. Well, you'd have to stop acting like a sun-dried dick all the time. Oh, so witty. What exactly is a sun-dried dick, do pray tell? It's what I'm gonna do to your redacted with my redacted. When I redacted, you're redacted, you freckled redacted. Ah, they're getting so into their roles. I'm glad they're having so much fun. Fun? Can we all get back to the impressive feat of strength I just performed on our wooden adversary over here? The 4 of them stare upon Buck's handiwork with synchronous gulps of barely restrained awe. Ignatius even pees a little. Well, what are y'all waiting for, huh? Let's break and enter this holy hack job. Having her axe back on her shoulder, Bucks takes off into the newly opened doorway. You're gonna redacted me, Gelato? No, don't redact that. I'm not to be redacted. You do not redacted me. There is no redacted happening toward me. I am safe and sound. This is uncouth of you. You do not do anything weird to me, okay? I do something about this. Do not let me get redacted, please. I don't want to get redacted. Breaking off further bits of wooden door frame with the top of her head. The others are quick to fall in line behind her, half tripping as they climb over the rubble and onto the darkness beyond. Blah, 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 blah. Once inside, they find themselves in a large hall. Redacted. So stupid, yeah. Tall pillars of marble line the walls, and plummeting tapestries hang from the golden ceiling like carpets descended from heaven. Ignatius takes a step out into the grand expanse of the foyer, looks around. Hello? His voice echoes off the domed ceiling. There's no response. No one's home, perhaps. What do you expect? Some kind of holy guardian we'd have to give a good ass pounding? Sounds risque. I don't really know, I guess. Ignatius pulls the jewel of happiness from his robes, gazing down at its dull, lifeless surface. But what do I do with this thing? It doesn't exactly come with instructions. He begins scrutinizing its surface as though looking for an answer. I was kind of hoping it'd just light up or something when we arrived. Mayhap the answer lies deeper within. Yeah, this place is honkin' huge. Gotta use our peepers to take a little look-see, I guess. Ignatius takes one last look at the jewel, then nods and slips it back into his robe. You're right, let's look around. Their verve resorted, they set off once more into the darkness of the castle. I hope nothing dastardly occurs. Definitely nothing bad, right? It's quiet around them. Deathly quiet. Their steps echoing across the marble hall. From one hallway to the next, they walk, each one longer than the next, but each one completely empty. Nothing but long, still corridors that seem to lead into darkened obscurity. We, gonna be able to find our way back? And this is getting awfully maze-like. Ignatius turns to look back at the way they'd come. It's as equally dark as the way ahead, and he can't remember the turns he'd made. But they don't really have much choice at this point. They have to keep pressing forward. Come on, I'm sure we'll find something soon. And then it's back to shouldering onward. But the air is different now. Colder. Heavier. Weighing down on them from all sides. He can feel it in his bones. A deep-seated kind of chill that sends his stomach into anxiety-ridden knots. And he can feel his fingers trembling, to the point that he needs to curl them into the folds of his robe. The lights flicker. A shuddered on-off. Ignatius stops in his tracks. Waits a moment. Then, when they seem to stabilize again, looks back. He blinks, wondering at first if he's seeing things, then shakes his head. No, someone's missing. Where's Bucks? The rest of the group turns around to look, but the warrior woman in question is nowhere in sight. She's gone. This is a little mistake, because, it's a small, minuscule mistake, because that was said by Bucks, apparently. You said something weird to her, didn't you? I said nothing of the sort. I was merely making an offer. Oh, just fucking great. Thanks to Freckles McHorndog over here, we've lost our only capable party member. More like she'd had enough of your boorish tongue, you uncouth brute. Oh yeah? Well, you can take this boorish tongue and shove it up your scrawny behind. I'd love to, dear, but this doesn't seem like the appropriate time or place. Oh, for fuck's sake, excuse me while I hurl. Would you two be quiet already? Ignatius brings a shaky hand to his hair. The chills are ramping up now, up and across his arms like a tingling firecrackers. She couldn't have just... A glance to the front, a glance to the back. The hallway is completely clear on both sides. I guess we keep going then? Oh no, it's flickering again. Heart twisting, he twirls around, searching. Orlam's gone. Thank God, I thought he'd never leave. This is not a good thing. I agree to disagree, I guess, your royal I don't give a rat's behindness. Ignatius gulps. His heart is really starting to pick up now. If this keeps up. But no. He shakes his head. They need to keep moving. Everything will be fine. The next time the lights flicker, he spins on his heels, refusing to let another one of them disappear in front of his eyes. But it's already too late. By the time he's facing backward, Gent is the only one standing behind him. I'm beginning to grow mildly alarmed. The feeling is more than mutual. There's another flicker, followed by another. Then, the lights go out for good. Ignatius gives a little whine of terror and steps back until he hits the wall. It's quiet for a moment. Quiet save the rapid beating of Ignatius's heart. It echoes up inside his head with a dull thump. Then... Iggy? Yeah? Where are you? Somehow the sound of Kent's voice seems to calm him, and despite the fear still gripping his frame, he manages to pull himself away from the wall. I'm here. He reaches forward in the darkness, groping. He hits something soft, jerks back, then reaches again. A clumsy meeting of fingers, then their hands clasp together. It's a silent for a moment. Now we, won't lose each other, at least. Right. Then they're moving forward. Just the two of them, down the corridor of endless darkness. Around them the walls seem to undulate with invisible waves. A tangible sense of isolation closing in on them. But Ignatius keeps his thoughts focused on Gent's hand. On the soft feeling of it between his fingers, a beacon of light even in this thick curtain of shadow threatening to strangle them. It's comforting. We're not to speak of this later, you know. Of course not. Just making sure. But Ignatius can't help the small grin from forming on his face at the words, particularly with Gent's finger tightened around his. He feels himself begin to ease somewhat. Yes, they'll be able to get through this, as long as they have each other. In fact, he's just beginning to regain some confidence when he realizes Gent's hand is gone. He stops, reaches forward, swings his arm around in an increasingly panicked flourishes, but the prince is simply gone. Gent? There's no response. And already, Ignatius can feel himself start to curl in on himself. All alone. So fucking alone. The darkness closing in on him. Okay, I've had enough of this. Where did you guys go? Can we finish this scene up already? Guys? Guys, what the fuck? Gidget? And that's when the floor opens beneath him. Okay, I don't get what's happening now. He doesn't know how long he falls. It's dark all around him, like he's falling through nothingness, a gaping dark abyss surrounding him on all sides. There's something oddly familiar about it. The wind whipping up around him, the silence forming, a dull buzz in his ears. But how? How could it be familiar? How could any of this be familiar? The thought makes his stomach twist. What's going on? He doesn't even know anymore. He's lost. Lost in something much bigger than himself with no way to stop it. And just as he's beginning to wonder if he'll simply keep falling forever, the ground raises up beneath him like a steam engine to the gut. Voices. And that's the first thing he comprehends. There's voices around him. Clanky iron footsteps, but dark, still dark. He can't see anything. And his head is ringing like he's been bashed in the ears with the world's largest gong. He groans, tries to push himself up, only to be immediately grabbed from behind. 2 sets of strong hands gripping him beneath his pits and pull him to his feet. What the hell? He tries to pull away, but the fingers digging into his skin are like iron rods. Then they're moving, marching forward, held just high enough that he can't quite touch the ground, his toes scraping the floor. And as they walk, he begins to hear it. Stomps, synchronous scripts and chants, an entire chorus of them, growing louder and louder. The ground trembles beneath his feet, louder. He can feel it in his bones now, vibrating up through his spine, a panic tremolo stirring his heart. The world opens up all around him, taking his breath away. It's some kind of vast underground hall, everything red, hot, and glowing. Lava cascades down from awe-inspiring high ceilings that gleam in brilliant gold. Flames bubble up like dragon's breath in puffs that warp the air around them. And the crowd, the army, immeasurable in their amount and lined up on either side of the path in front of him, tens of thousands of rabbit soldiers, and all of them stomping, chanting, pounding their spears against the hard-packed earth. Jerry! 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 This looks like Orlam's basement. A little bit, like a teeny tiny amount. But I think it's different, because Orlam did not have lava, he had cauldrons. Ignatius swallows hard as his captors begin dragging him down the aisle. The sound is deafening, the chanting so loud and so zealous it makes his very bones tremble, his heart strum. Jerry! 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 Back and forth, he watches the fervent soldiers in their frenzied exaltation, dragged further and further along. Let me just take a better picture. Boom, there we go. The air scorching his lungs. He can see a gathering up ahead, past the ranks of soldiers. More rabbits, holding small figures between them. His companions. He squeezes his eyes shut, the world starting to spin around him. Jerry! 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 Closer and closer. until a throne comes into view past the gathering, its gold gilding glinting in the incandescent light of the flames. Jerry! 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 He feels dizzy, the heat curling up inside him as the echoing chants continue to assault his ears. Finally, they make it to the end, and his captors drag him in line with the rest of his companions. This is very, very, very much dramatic as hell, but I like it. It's kind of fun. They turn to look at him, faces a mixture of indignation and apprehension, all of them forced to their knees with their arms cocked out like chicken wings. Ignatius returns the look with a gulp of uncertainty, when all of a sudden the chant comes to an abrupt stop. The entire army goes down on one knee in a synchronous series of iron clangs. Silence. Then, footsteps behind them, heavy and echoing as they approach. My dear friends, so kind of you to finally join me. Sentry 284? Not Sentry 284, oh no. Isn't that the one that went to take a piss and then like, I think that's him, right? Sentry 284? I might be wrong. The rabbit in question doesn't move for a moment. Then his ears rocket skyward, body stiffened like a rod. I told you to call me Jerry! The barks makes Ignatius flinch. Orlam, however, just grins. You really expect me to stoop to that level? You rabbits are nothing but expendable pawns. Who needs names when your only purpose in life is to serve the king? Jerry twitches. Then stomps over. He grabs Orlam by the base of his rat tail and yanks him up into the air. The king? The king, you say? Jerry marches over to the other side of the platform, overlooking the simmering pools of lava below. It seems to me I'm the king now. Bro is about to toss him off the damn ledge. He thrusts Orlam over the edge with an enraged huff. Or are you as typolotic as you are conceited? Orlam's face twists in pain as his legs kick uselessly beneath him. Jerry, stop! Jerry blinks, turns back, looks at Ignatius, smiles. Yes, I am forgetting myself, aren't I? He throws Orlam to the ground with a wince-inducing thud. Orlam goes rolling, and when he tries to push himself back to his feet, Jerry brings a foot down on his neck, slamming him back to the ground. I have more important matters to attend than this. The throned rat. He kicks him off to the side, where he's snatched up by a duo of guards. Jerry wanders toward Ignatius, his hand to his shin in apparent wonderment. Very important matters indeed. You'll unhand us at once, or you'll have my father to answer to. Your father? Your father? Jerry's ears curl in amusement, eyes flashing. Then he's laughing. His high-pitched squeaks that bite at their hearts and eardrums like knives. Haven't you figured it out yet? None of this is real. This noble little quest of yours was nothing more than a carefully laid trap. And you fell for it. All of you fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Genzo responds with a snap of his teeth that sends Jerry back with a little laugh. What do you mean? As Jerry shakes his head in sardonic pity. Why, the Jewel City... He cups Ignatius's cheeks in his hands, tut-tutting beneath his breath. I need to destroy that naughty piece of gravel in order to keep my glorious kingdom intact. Now he's molding and mashing Ignatius's face between his palms. We wouldn't want you to use that thing to wish all of this away from me, would we? Get your fucking hands off him. Down, boy. Jerry sighs and flicks Genzo's forehead, who reels back with a growl. Now, I've made far too much progress for that. I can't go back to that caitiff I was before. No more go and clean up stalls, 284, or stop dawdling at the back of the line, 284, or report to my chambers, 284. Now, I'm the one making the wishes. I'm the one making the rules. I'm the one turning this kingdom into a paradise for all of rabbit kind. This is Jerry's Wonderland now. That rabbit's gone and lost his goddamn mind. As have most of the people reading this by now, I'm sure. Yeah, just a little bit. You still think this is a game? Some kind of a visual novel you can read and peruse at your own leisure? You actual morons! This is your new reality now, or haven't you figured it out yet? As soon as I destroy this yellow potato, things will never go back to normal. Normal. Normal for you, but hell for us rabbits. But now, I get to make your life hell. Why do I feel like I've heard that line before? Search me. I'll never give you the jewel. Jerry stops, smiles. Look at you being all brave. Well, sorry, kid, but there ain't much you can do at this point. He snaps his fingers at the guards. Turn him over. Ignatius's world quickly turns upside down as the nearest guard grabs him by the ankle. Then he's hanging uselessly in the air, his robe fluttering around him. One shake, two, then the jewel of happiness falls to the ground with a dull thud. The guard drops him back to his feet. Jerry smiles and walks towards it, but Ignatius moves before he can even stop his head from spinning. He darts towards the jewel, hand outstretched, only for the nearest guard to sidewipe him with a spear. He goes tumbling to the ground. At first, he can't seem to breathe. There's pressure overtaking his chest, and he realizes with a start that the impact must have cracked some of his ribs. Pain. He brings a hand to his chest with a wince. Pain so intense it takes his brain a second to catch up with him. He coughs, sending red spatters to the floor. Then looks up to see his companions just staring at him in shock. No, he can't. He wobbles back to his feet. I won't let you have it. Starts for the jewel. This time, the attack comes from behind, slamming his shin into the floor. He groans, head spinning. Lightning-like tendrils of pain are shooting up and load his spine. Why is the DM torturing our characters? I don't know if the DM's even existing anymore. Is any of this real? That's the real question here. I don't know what's real anymore. And he feels something shocky in his mouth. He spits out 2, 3, 4 clattering bits of tooth. Ew, that's icky and gross. I don't want to think about the taste of teeth. No. Carrot, is this real? Carrot, we have to know. How will this impact the lore? But still, he wobbles to his feet. He has to. Restore happiness to the world. He stumbles towards the jewel, body trembling. The spear goes for his shins, and there's a crack as the bones break. Fuck. The pain is all over now, pulsing in and out, setting his brain on fire. He gazes up at his companions. That's right, he has to. Make them happy, all of them. His friends. He starts crawling towards the jewel. He can see it there, just out of reach, lying on the ground. The key to their happiness. It's all up to him. Closer. He's wheezing now. Horrible throaty breaths that claw at his lungs. Closer. Cold chills run up and down his spine, his arms, his legs, and his robe feel unbearably heavy. So heavy, it's as though it's pushing him straight into the ground. Closer. He reaches a hand out, trembling fingers seeking out the jewel. He has to. Jerry's foot comes down on his hand. The pain is immense, shooting up through his hand, his arm, his shoulder, sending a panicked gasp out beneath his lips. He can't move. His body goes completely rigid. Muscles not responding. Brain on overdrive. Jerry simply watches him, tisk-tisking as he shakes his head. Look at you. So stubborn. He grinds his foot harder into Ignatius's hand, bones crunching between his heel. But it's too late. Everything is already in play. You're not the star of the show anymore. He leans down, fingers gripping the back of Ignatius's head and wrenching it upwards. Don't look so sad now. I won't kill you. I need you alive. Killing you would only reset the cycle, you see. But that doesn't mean I won't make the rest of your life a living nightmare. He glances up, smirks. And it doesn't mean I have to keep them alive either. I did say a little throat slitting was okay, didn't I? He snaps his fingers. And the guards holding his companions promptly run their knives across each of their throats. Ignatius's eyes nearly bug out of their sockets. He can only watch as their bodies slump to the floor. You. His eyes fill up with tears, his lips blubbering uselessly. Jerry sighs and lets Ignatius's head fall back to the ground with a thud. Then swipes the jewel up and pushes himself back to his feet. Me what? If you're not even going to speak clearly with me, this relationship is going to be such a chore. But don't worry. We'll have a long time to get to know each other better. He walks towards his throne with a snicker, tossing the jewel up and down with each step. Ignatius pulls his hand towards his chest, body curling in on itself. He couldn't do it. Couldn't save them. Couldn't make them happy. Tears leak down his cheeks to pool in his ears. He can't do anything. Happy. What would make him happy? All this time he'd been focusing on them. But what about him? Shouldn't he deserve happiness too? He closes his eyes. Yes, that's right. What does he want? What would make him happy? And in that moment, he feels a warm breath inside his chest. The tiniest warmth. glowing up and out of his heart, warding off the chill and the shakes, filling him up from the inside out. Yes, that person. That person makes him happy. If only he could have told them. At that moment, the jewel in Jerry's hand begins to glow. It starts as a dim glimmer, then grows and grows, blossoming into a brilliant amber gleam. Jerry stops with a start. What the? There's a brilliant flash. Then beams of light begin shooting out from the jewel, one after another. They extend all the way through the hall, past the hall, out across the plains into the sky. More and more and more until the jewel grows so bright and hot that Jerry can't hold it anymore. With a yelp, he steps back and it raises up into the air, still spewing more and more light. There's a rumble. Then the world begins to shake around them. Bits of ceiling begin falling to the ground, into the lava, and the platform starts undulating beneath their feet, heaving precariously back and forth. Behind them, the army of rabbits flies into a panic. They run left and right, shouting and screaming in their attempt to escape the hall. But through that din, another noise emerges. A saber. It slices through the air, clanging against armor and spear, carving through flesh and fur, and from the roiling, raving din, Kent appears. He ascends the stairs to the throne, stands over Ignatius, shoulders heaving and ragged. You stay back, I said. Gent smirks. I would burn you alive for what you did, Rabbit, but fortunately for you, I have more important matters to attend to. He drops his saber to the ground with a clatter and kneels down next to Ignatius. Can you move, Iggy? I'm not sure. Gent grimaces. Sutton seems to be trying to figure out something in his head. Then finally takes Ignatius into his arms. You're stronger than you look. Didn't you know? I got a black belt in Taekwondo back in the day. Ignatius smirks, but lets himself rest against Gent's chest all the same. Now then, shall we, as they say, give this place the slip? Please don't say that ever again. Please don't say that again. Gent turns on his heels with a regal spin, throws a confident grin into the air, then runs. Down, down, down through the din and the chaos and the smoke they run. Through the still panicking rabbits flying left and right, through the falling rubble and the leaping flames. Back across the bridge as it begins to twist and turn and buckle. They reach the end just as a giant piece of ceiling breaks off and takes out the hunk of ground in front of them. It leaves a gaping hole in its wake, flames licking up at the cracked edges. The workmanship of this place. My father would never have given this place a permit. Is that really what we should be worried about right now? I am venting my frustrations through pointless and irrational commentary. He spins around, gaze shooting left and right as he searches for another way, but there isn't one. Already, the rest of the platform is crumbling around them, and the gap is 5, 10, 20 times too far to leap. Perchance I should have put more thought into this. Even the bridge seems to even the bridge behind them is gone now. Great heaping chunks of it tumble off to join the molten pot below. They're left stranded on a precariously balanced island in the middle. Why aren't you helping here? What do you expect me to do? I don't know, come up with something. Do something, anything, so that we don't. Ignatius can see the tear in Gen's eyes. Despite everything though, Ignatius is calm. Gent. Gent just growls, looks away. Gent? What? It's okay. Remember what Jerry said? If I die, everything resets. But I'm supposed to be your prince, Iggy. I was supposed to save you. You'll always be my Prince Gent. As if on cue, two more giant chunks of their platform break off. Their little platform is getting smaller and smaller. Really? Even after we go back? Even after we go back? Gent's lips start to tremble. Ignatius just smiles, bringing his hand up to Gent's cheek. And I want you to know, before everything resets, and we forget all of this ever happened, that you make me happy, just the way you are. The real you. Now Gent's cheeks are flooded with tears. Keep it together, Gent. Keep it together, Gent. Iggy smirks. You don't need to be perfect all the time. Oh, Iggy. Gent pulls Iggy in close, bringing their lips together. At that moment, the platform beneath them gives. Falling. They're falling, clutching at each other, clutching to each other, twisting and turning as the air whips around them. Embers prickling their skin, and they focus only on each other, on holding themselves so close they can't blah blah blah. It's coming. Ignatius closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, then... So I imagine the other endings are probably involving whoever we're closest with? There's lyrics to this song. I was not expecting that. So what context did we get for which character? I highly doubt it's Jerry. Although it'd be funny if Jerry comes into play in Arc 5. Maybe Hanar. Context for Iggy? That literally doesn't make sense. We've been Iggy the entire time. How can we get more context for Iggy? The DM guy that you forgot the name of? Hanar? Yeah, Hanar, that's what I said. I think Hanar maybe would be the character we could just gain more familiarity with. Maybe. Why should it be the damn rabbit? I swear to God, if it's the damn rabbit. That's gonna unironically... I'll lose my shit. If it's that goddamn 284. Like, what has he been doing this entire time? A real question. I'm gonna break my neck a little bit here. If we get a Jerry reveal in Wonderland or closing stream, by the way, I don't blame ya. I don't blame ya. I do not blame ya. It would be ridiculous. I think maybe next time. I don't know if the endings will be different between who we're closer to. Because I think it's the same ending. We just die and the loop restarts. But it would just be with a different person. This time it was Gent, I guess, because we got closest to Gent. Oh. Iggy's awoken but to the sound of Mrs. Donish's rolling her trash bin down the driveway. There must be something stuck in one of the wheels because with each rotation, the bin lurches upward and smacks heavily against the pavement. Roll, roll, smack, roll, roll, smack. He sits up in bed. All of a sudden, come over with the urge to look out the window. Then half trips, half stumbles out of the sheets. She's there, Astonished, that is. Just as he'd expected she would be. And only a half second after he spies her halfway down the driveway, a bottle falls out of the bin. Yeah, you noticed the game kept making me choose between them? Yeah. It's an interesting bottle, somewhat round and oblong, and of an interesting golden hue that glints in the morning sun. It almost looks like a potato. He watches her stop, pick it up, then toss it back inside the bin. Then it's back to her interrupted journey. Roll, roll, smack, roll, roll, smack. Iggy watches her a moment longer, brows furrowed, but ultimately shakes his head and turns back to his room. Yes, his room. This is his room. And the same as it is every morning, and yet somehow it feels like he hasn't seen it in a long, long time. He brings a hand to run through his hair, but as he does so, he winces. A strange pin-like pain blossoms across his fingers. But looking down at his hand, he sees nothing wrong. 5 fingers, just like usual, and all of them in perfect working order. He curls them in, out, gives his hand a shake. He blinks, then finally sighs. This is getting ridiculous. He doesn't have time for this. He has work to do today. Clients with deadlines. So, with a little slap of his cheeks, he starts towards the kitchen. As he's starting up the coffee pot, a thought crosses his mind. The fleetest of passing thoughts. Maybe he'll call Gidget later. Yeah. Maybe he will. This thought percolating in the back of his mind, he heads towards his desk. He has work to get done. Again, root end. Okay. Yeah. I wonder if there's a way to like avoid all of no, not really then, because certain options you have to pick between the 3. It would be funny if there was a way to avoid all of them. Like the characters want to know more about what the hell's going on. Thought this game didn't have enough cannibalism. Play the main game. You won't regret it. You might regret it. So that's one character we've gone through. I think next time we may continue this, just to see the other routes, to see how different they are. We'll try to maybe speedrun it until well, I guess you can't really speedrun some of it, but, you know. Well, I'll try to skip through sections we've already read through, and just, if I see something new, I'll read through that the next time. Time to get rest, Gelato? It is indeed. Thank you guys for being here. It was, good as always. I am glad for this. Let me see if anybody is streaming at the moment. We may be able to raid somebody. I don't know if... Scratch Boyo, no. 45 minutes to an hour, by the way. You're right. 45 minutes to an hour. But my reading speed, it makes it, slower. There isn't anybody to raid at the moment. I'm a little bit too early for some people. I bid thee farewell. I shall see you all in the next one. I hope you all have a great, wonderful rest of your mornings, afternoons, evenings, and nights, wherever and whenever you are. May the gods bless you and may the stars shine in your honor. Bye-bye.